We're back. I'm here with Jim Martin. He's part of the Chelmsford Tree Committee. Jim, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the Tree Committee and what you guys do.
Well, the Tree Committee has been in existence for, I think it's 5 or 6 years now. We are responsible to give advice about the public trees of Chelmsford. We do a number of actions, such as we just recently were involved with saving the Chelmsford Legacy Beach, getting that planted, and hopefully that will go well in the future. We're working on tree inventories of public trees to find out what we've got and how they're doing. We deal with Arbor Day and several other things.
So when you say you're doing an inventory of trees, are they like historic trees? Or?
No, we basically what we've done, I used to work for a company that took care of the public garden, and I treated it the same way. We'll take a property. We've done all the schools, all the cemeteries, the country club, police station, some of the parks and things like that. We'll go in and we'll take the whole property. We'll go in, we look, we identify what trees are there, their size, what condition they're in, and their location, and then we also document it with a photograph.
Interesting.
And then we put this onto a spreadsheet, and we're going to go back and follow up and see over a period. The inventory just gives you a snapshot. So if you go back 5 years later, then maybe you can start to draw some conclusions about really how the trees are doing.
Yeah. Now, where did you collect this knowledge of trees, and how did you?
I've been an arborist for about 50 years. I'm now retired. I've been involved in all kinds of activities. I was a college teacher for almost 20 years, taught high school for 2. Worked for one of the premier tree and landscape companies in the Boston area.
So you can pretty much identify any tree and...
Well, one way or the other, yes. A lot of times you've got to go back and pull out the inventory or the guidebooks.
Yeah.
But yeah, and...
That's good. Now talk to me a little bit about this. I know Phil Stanway was a big part of the beech tree in the center. Were you there for the actual ceremony and everything?
Just recently, the planting. Phil had the foresight when the old beech tree on the common was declining. He thought it would be a good idea to get Western nurseries involved and take cuttings and have the tree propagated. Evidently, there were about 25 of the cuttings were taken. Unfortunately, the rabbits got in and 2 were left.
Oh, wow.
Rabbits are a big problem in the nursery business.
They're a big problem in my own yard.
Yeah. But anyway, so they were grafted. I was told that it was Mr. Metz, the owner of the Western Nurseries, actually did the grafting.
Yeah.
They were put out for 4, 5, 6 years, I guess now. They're about yay high, and hopefully we'll transplant well.
Now, answer me this, because somebody said that, are willow trees banned in Chelmsford?
Yes.
Okay. What's the reason behind
No
that?
idea.
Okay.
It's been in the bylaws. It's not enforced.
Okay.
Among many other things that are not enforced. I have no idea why there's a certain limit to the space between a willow tree and I think it's water.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what the rationale for it is. But you kind of look at that and say, gee, that's kind of an outlier.
Yeah. I saw that one day and I was like, is that actually true? But I guess it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, does somebody from the tree committee go to various different committees and commissions and stuff, like the Conservation Commission, to kind of answer questions for them on?
If we're invited, yes. We've also made presentations to the Board of Selectmen about the inventory and also about our little guest of honor here.
Yeah.
We've also communicated advice to the town manager and the tree warden.
So you mentioned this little guy. Are you talking about this emerald ash borer? Is that what
Right.
this is? So yeah, tell us a little bit about this and what these guys do.
Several years ago, we got involved with putting out cooperation with the Massachusetts Conservation and Recreation. And they are in the process of doing it all over the state. Unfortunately, the state bought a lot of traps, but didn't fund putting them up.
Okay.
So I knew the gentleman there, and I said, hey, we're kind of interested in that. Let's see what happens. So he gave me a supply, and we've been trapping, I think, for about 4 years now. And last August, we hit bingo. We found 2 of them right over Sheila Avenue there.
Okay. Are they bad for the trees or what?
They will kill them.
Oh, really?
They
Wow.
are they are not native. They were first recognized, I think it was 2002, in the Detroit area. The theory is they came in on cribbage for heavy equipment from Eastern Asia. That's where they're native. Japan, Korea, China.
So what do? Are they like a termite? They eat the tree?
They will just burrow in, and the living portion of the tree is about the outer inch.
Okay.
So they get right in there, and it's basically a plumbing system, and they will feed on that plumbing system.
Okay.
And that stops the flow of water going up to the leaves and the flow of sugars and growth regulators going down to the roots. So basically the tree starves to death.
Oh, wow. So how do you catch them? It's like a trap?
It's a trap. It's about, for some reason or other, don't know why, they're purple. They're about 14, 18 inches high, triangular, made out of cardboard with stickum on it. And then you put some bait inside that smells like an ash tree to a insect. So we hang them up for June, go back, check them, and then leave them for July, and then pull them in August.
Do you end up with like all sorts of other bugs?
Oh,
I mean, it must get nasty.
Hundreds of different insects that are of no use except for a couple of selected ones.
Yeah.
Everything that's flying by, I think I'll land there and take a rest, and it's their last one.
So, I mean, what do you have to do? Like pick through them and see if you have one of these and don't have one of those?
And I'm not by training an entomologist, so I picked a couple, and I thought, this looks really good, and sent it off to the state. And they're the experts on, and they sent back an email saying, congratulations, you're the proud owner of a couple of emerald ash borers.
Wow. So that's not great for us, though. That means that they're in the area.
But they're coming this way. They started out in Detroit, and they went in all different directions. If you could put the slide up of the national, there we go. You can see it goes all the way from Nova Scotia to Manitoba to Texas to Carolina. So this is the native range of the ash tree, and they are all over the place, and they are spreading.
Oh, wow.
And they are really devastating. They will kill a tree within probably 3 years if it's not treated.
Oh, wow. So is there signs for people, so is it only ash trees that they attack?
It only attacks ash trees, thank God. But unfortunately, there is no resistance.
Right.
So once they get there, they're pretty much gone.
Yeah. So you're only looking out really for town-owned ash trees at this point.
Well, property owners are the ones who are probably going to have the real problems.
Yeah.
Because when their tree dies, very oftentimes it's difficult to get equipment in to take the tree down.
Yeah.
Where with town trees, a lot of them, it's fairly easy to get either a bucket truck or a crane in to take it down because you've got the space. But
Yeah.
homeowners, getting a crane in and having to lift the tree over the house because that's the only way to take it down. It gets to be expensive.
Right. Speaking of cranes and trucks, I've seen several meetings where some of the tree committee's concerns are around root structures of trees, and sometimes, they'll be talking about maybe like a construction project or something, and there's concern that they may be driving heavy equipment. Right. What goes on there?
Well, basically a tree, what you see above ground is only half the issue. The other 50% is underground, and without roots, you don't have a plant. And unfortunately, construction, they've been doing it all this time. They compact the roots, and then 5 years later, the tree dies. And nobody ever puts together the two things. And it's very difficult to try to convince them that, yes, you really got to keep away from it.
Yeah. There was another issue too with the beech tree, I think, being replanted on the common. I think it was there something because they have like underground utilities or something.
I don't think the town wanted it there.
Oh, they didn't. Okay.
We contacted a number of different people, and surprisingly, nobody was interested except Cos. So one ended up at the Garrison House, and one ended up at Sunny Meadow.
That's awesome. Now, do you guys do a lot of work with the stewards, or?
No, not really. I think this is the real first time we've worked together on a project.
And you guys meet as a committee, or?
Once a month, we meet down at Town Hall, usually the second Tuesday.
Yep. And what does your agenda look like on a monthly basis?
It varies. We've got
here's all the tree problems in town.
Well, we can only give advice.
Yeah.
And you can't give advice to somebody who doesn't want to listen.
Right.
So we deal from there.
Well, it's good. It's good that we have one. I think it's a good responsibility to keep up with the trees that we have, and certainly it's good for our ecosystem.
Before we leave, could you put the slide of the insect itself up? And this gives you some idea. You can see how small it is. It's less than the size of a penny. And they're never this clean.
Yeah, I'm like, look at
you trap them and they roll around in the gunk, and they just look like a blob, to be quite honest with you. But and you'll probably never see them. Borers are just impossible to see. And could you put up the last slide of the Massachusetts?
There you go.
Okay. And here we see the progression of the emerald ash borer. And you'll notice Chelmsford is right pride of place there. But it started from the west and it's working along. There are probably more. This is only the towns where they've been identified.
I see.
And they're probably there. It's just that they haven't been recognized yet.
But really, the only way you're going to find them is if you get one of these little fancy traps and you try to.
Right, and then what?
And what's the treatment if you do find them?
You can. Well, there are a number of products on the market that can control it. You're never going to eliminate it. Probably requires yearly treatment. Oh, there's some thoughts that maybe not. But you got to keep them in good condition. Like I said, there are a number of materials labeled for it. I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Right.
Because, to be quite frankly, I'm out of date.
Yeah.
But they can be sprayed, injected, or soil treatment.
Okay.
But this is something probably the homeowner is not going to want to do themselves. They should hire somebody who's licensed and insured and experienced to make it. I prefer, if I were doing it, I would probably do the injection method.
Yeah.
You know, we're in a built-up area. You throw pesticides up in the air, and you know people get concerned. You put it right in the tree. You don't have to worry about the soil or anything else. So
Right.
it's an option. It's not going to be cheap, but then again, I think you have to look at the value of the tree and the fact that the tree is irreplaceable.
Yeah, it's probably going to cost you a good $500+ to get it taken down.
Right.
You know.
And then what do you have?
Right. Nothing.
A stump.
Yeah. And then you got to get stump grinded.
Right. Yeah. No, it just, unfortunately, in my experience, people don't recognize the value of their tree until after it's gone.
Right.
And then, and this is, again, one of the cases where, you know, decisions are going to have to be made. Not only the town is going to have to make them, but private homeowners are going to make them.
So if people are interested in this, can they come to the tree committee meetings and find out more information about it?
Or they can contact me on by email if they want.
Okay.
We're in the website.
Yep. Go onto the town website.
Yeah, I'm a bit out of date on this. I'm not saying I'm a real whiz-bang expert on it, but it's an interesting insect. And there's one other thing is that treatment has to be started before you really see the insects. Right. Probably about the only way you're going to maybe see it is there'll be suckering on, you'll have a bunch of, the top will die and then you'll have a bunch of growth at the bottom, or the woodpeckers get in. But by then it's too late anyways.
Yeah, that's too bad.
These things, when they do die, the ash tree loses its structural strength. There's something going on I don't understand, but a lot of times with an elm or something like that, the tree can be dead for a year or two and it's still structurally sound. I saw a picture here where the tree had been dead, an ash tree had been dead for 18 months. They cut it down, and when the log hit the ground, it broke into pieces.
Oh my goodness.
So, and I've also been told that one of the larger tree companies will not allow their climbers to go into a tree, an ash tree that's infected.
Because it's just not structurally
now you're going to use a bucket truck and a crane.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, giving us information about the emerald ash borer.
I wish it was better news and we had something positive, you know, to say about trees or whatever. But you know, it's a warning. They're here. Probably in 3 to 5 years, you're going to start to see the trees starting to die. But in the meantime, hopefully, people can make plans.
Absolutely. Check it out. Thank you for coming on.
That's quite all right. Thank you for having me.
We'll have you on again soon.
Thank you.